to do this. He's completely the techie in our house. And he knows I miss the teaching, so. Now this one, and again, you could just be putting these on a paper cutter and just, perfectly cutting them. But I kind of like the handmadeness of just trimming it myself freehand with scissors. It's not perfectly straight, and I don't intend it to be. I think there's too many things in my life that are perfectly straight. I kind of like things with texture. These have a nice little dribble of paint that when it dried, it left a little texture on top, but not enough to keep it from going through the mail. So there's another one. Uh-oh. Oh, good. Thank you very much, Papa. I'm glad. Sometimes we're just, we don't really know what's being picked up and what isn't. And whack. The other nice thing about using extremely cheap materials like this is, you screw something up, you just get frustrated, you throw it away. It's no big deal. I've got another one a little big. I must be in a generous mood today. I'm cutting things a little big, but again, there won't be any waste. As soon as we get done with a few of these ready to sew, we're going to make up some bookmarks. So every one of these little pieces is going to end up getting used up. There's another one. You know what I forgot, dear? I forgot to put it on Facebook. I forgot to put it on Facebook. So, hey, teamwork. Teamwork. And as I said, you could have just 3 paints that you work with and have a theme. It could be a seasonal color set. A gift, a friend just really into periwinkle and she can't find anything in that particular shade of periwinkle, then you could make things up for her. Uh-oh. Oh no. You don't want a dead mic. By the way, Papa, I really like the warmth that you and the other artists are putting into their broadcast. It reminds me of the old days at Etsy when, people were really there to kind of help each other and they were excited about learning and teaching and creating that new community. It kind of got corporate after a while. I picked up a $4.99 mic stand, a big silver one. But we ended up not using it today. We went back to what we knew already. We're using a camera tripod that we picked up at a thrift store, I think. Alright, so I got a little pile of cards ready to sew. And now I'm going to do my weird little thing with my scissors and create some pieces that'll be suitable. And isn't that just like an artist? I decide I don't like that color green. We're going to get this other green out. But, yeah, I mean, you could sit with a friend and just gather all your scraps, let the kids help, and you could just lay out and make 300 or 400 of these in a day for a reading literacy program in the area. And it's just literally all scraps. Okay, there's the first one of those. And it's any sewing machine will sew this. You don't have to worry about it being, I used to do them on a treadle sewing machine. Good exercise that way. More little boxes. Yeah. I had somebody asking me about shipping some things to them, and turns out they were in, oh Lord, I don't remember where, somewhere in the EU. And it was a $15 item, and it was going to cost, I don't know how many, $150 to get it to them, and we just both decided, well, that wasn't so worth it. Alright. Now on these bookmarks, I'm just literally just laying out patterns that please me out of the scraps that I have here. This way nothing gets wasted. Each one becomes completely unique. It's really hard to take these scraps and create two things that look alike. What about a tall lampstand? Something that's got a weight towards the bottom? Would that work proper? Oh, and I did get a hold of, on Craigslist, somebody was advertising for studio time. Remember we were talking about, putting my own piano music and songs on here, so. Yeah, I was worried a little bit because, when it comes to doing some kind of a game thing, I'm more like, I like tactile touching. Um, the only computer game I ever bother with is like a free cell or something. It's a big part of my happiness in life is when things have a lot to feel. I like picking up game pieces. I like the touch of cards and moving them through my hands, and yeah. It's funny, I have some friends that are writers and they will not switch away from, handwriting, literally handwriting their work and then paying somebody to type it out for them. But I couldn't write like that, so, it's nice we all have options, we can do different things. It's the weekend. Yeah. Long before I got into having a woodworking studio, I've always had jobs that the weekend was just it was just day 5, day 6, day 7. It wasn't really. It was either managing at a nursing home or running group homes. When I taught college, I taught a lot of Saturday classes when I taught college, because the other teachers wouldn't do them. I liked them because my average grades from a class that met on Saturdays was excellent. I didn't have to. Most of them were working in order to pay for school. They were older. I just found them to be a lot less whiny. Like typing as in old manual typewriters? Alright. Actually going to take these, put them on the sewing machine. We're not using the card part, we're just using 2 layers. We've got our backing if you wanted a mat, and we've got the other piece. Oh, I get to plug something in. my vintage Singer. My friend Pat loves this machine. She says I have to leave it to her when I die. I'm just going to literally put it on there. You see it all right? Just driving around, drunk driving on my piece of paper here. Right off the edge. You don't want to stop in the middle somewhere, because the next step is you're going to take this, and you're going to trim a tiny, tiny little lip off of that edge so that it catches the end of the thread. And that'll be one of our cards. So, keep on sewing. So I've known writers won't write. One explained it as specific letters where it's handwriting, so using something else wasn't the same. Well, that's interesting. I can kind of understand a car is a car. Yeah, I hate to admit it. I can ride on a motorcycle and I can drive a tractor, but I can't drive a stick shift. And somebody that I was working for kept asking, why do you have to leave, at the end, halfway through the day. We'd be in the middle of something, and I'd have to say, well, I got to go, because I had to go pick my husband up at work. I had the vehicle. So he was all excited, and he comes in, he throws the title down, and he said, I got you a car. And I said, great. He said, now, Craig can drive the truck, and you can drive down here. And I went out and looked at the car, and it's a stick shift. So Craig got the stick shift, and it's pretty well worn out now. So we're car hunting too. But I told him, I said, please, that was kind of inconvenient sometimes. Please make sure that it's not a stick shift. If he suddenly had a health problem, and I absolutely had to make that car get to a hospital, I probably could do it, but I'm not sure if it would still have a transmission when I got it there. This is one of my favorite Christmas gifts to give to people, because all my friends that send little thank you notes, or they've got kids in school and there's always little notes going back and forth, or they've got folks that are, like to have something, that hand touch. You just paint up your junk you would have thrown out anyway. I mean, you can, a lot of us, that draw a lot, you have, old drawings that you don't like, or you were showing somebody something, or you were making a rough sketch, or, a lot of us have paper that's still good on one side, and it doesn't matter. You could just paint over the top of it anyway. So. Really? So how did you learn to repair a car but not to actually drive them? I mean, you just live in an area where you don't need to? My friend David sold his car 2 days after he got to Boston because he didn't need it anymore. We're in the middle of Ohio, and the studio is almost 5 miles from where we live. But I would love to have a warehouse and live in it and not have to just go downstairs and there you are, you're at work. Customer wants to meet you at 7 o'clock at night. You don't have to go home, have dinner, and then, man, once you go home and you just want to put your comfy clothes